Welcome back to the Reptiles With Podcast. We are hanging out at the Repticon Reptile Show in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here with Eric, and clearly there's a seat that's empty because we're going to probably bring out the coolest guests you guys have ever seen, and we're going to get nerdy, and we're going to get turtley. We're going to bring on GregsTurtleHaven. Anything cool that you want to showcase of what we're going to speak about?
We're going to talk turtles, finally,
yes,
for once in our lives, and some cool little ins and outs of like turtle trapping and other endeavors.
So usually when we do these episodes at the shows, we'll have like multiple guests and we'll do like 5, 10, 15, maybe 20-minute segments. But we like already recorded this and it was like 40-something minutes.
We got time to talk.
Yeah. And honestly, like, we're just going to get straight to it. But before we get started, hit like, subscribe, share with your reptile-loving friends. And we have merch. Become a member of the channel, all of that jazz. I guess let's bring Greg on and let's do the thing, dude.
Let's do it.
It's turtle time. Greg, where can people find you? Talk about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, Greg Brashear. I do GregsTurtleHaven on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I guess I'm on Facebook, but I don't really mess with it that much. It's like a lot of people kind of
there.
Yeah, pissing and moaning a lot. So.
So, Greg, talking about social media, you just like went like super viral.
Yeah. Me and the Hawk Tua girl went viral on like the same, literally on the same day.
Yeah, really was the same day?
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was Juneteenth.
That's crazy.
I had actually uploaded the video a day or two before, and it kind of wasn't really moving. And then on that day, it was like my wife had texted me, and she was like, "Hey, that thing hit 1 million views." And then a text like an hour later said 3 million views, and then 30 minutes later said 5 million. Then I was sitting down at dinner. We were all out trapping, and so we went and ate at this like Mexican restaurant at the end of the day. And then the servers were like, "Hey, like you're on TikTok."
No way.
Yeah, and they were like showing me on their phones that on their when they opened TikTok, my video and the Hawk Tua girl were the first two in the feed.
Dude, so what is it at as of right now that we're recording?
It hit like 15 million and kind of planed out.
Damn.
And then I put it on Instagram, and it went to 4 or 5 million on Instagram. And then I did another one after it with a small alligator snapper like a week or two ago.
Yeah,
and that one's already like 4 million.
Damn.
Nice. So, yeah.
TikTok's the move, I guess.
Yeah. TikTok helped a lot, but now my Instagram's actually kind of moving. Like I did a post, I think, this morning, and it's already like moving quick too.
So was that one of those like happy accidents that you were just like, I'm just gonna post this, or were you like, no, this is gonna be fucking?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that you want to go viral.
Yeah,
it was just like, hey, I caught this one alligator snapper. It's it was the biggest one I've caught so far. Yeah. In terms of weight, I've caught them actually physically larger than that, but that one had like a lot of weight to it and looked impressive. And I just asked my buddy that was helping me do all the weighing and measuring. I was like, hey, let me just get a clip with this thing real quick. Yeah. Mostly I just wanted to see for myself how it was in proportion to me.
Yeah,
you know? Because I have a lot of videos and pictures of me holding them, and like that's kind of my scale for when I go back and look at them is how big are they compared to me? Yeah. Because I don't know if you guys have ever met my buddy Jack Thompson.
No, I don't
He's like 6'5", 220. He's built like a...
He's like my height.
Dude, he's like an Avenger. Yeah. But the problem is we get these big turtles, and he holds them with like one arm.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. They don't look that big.
Yeah, they never look...
And everyone else is holding...
You know what he's talking about? Okay.
Yeah. So,
on Turtleverse.
So yeah, I just kind of offhanded made the video, put it up, and it just started, going crazy.
That's sick, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
it's the random ones that go viral.
Yeah. So on that, you want to talk about what it is that the work that you do with the snappy turtles?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, I kind of like Forrest Gump my way into to doing it as a job. I've always just been a fan of alligator snapping turtles. Like every kid, they're like the T-Rex of turtles. And I grew up in like South Florida, like Sebastian Vero Beach area, and there's no alligator snapping turtles there. I was catching, common snappers and wishing they were alligator snappers. And
I swear I saw one. I swear.
Yeah. And so growing up, I always wanted them. And then when I was young, I got one for like my birthday. Because like back then there was this, I mean, you're talking about, it might have been 89, 90 for my birthday. And back then there weren't really any laws in Florida on prohibiting possession. And so you could get hatchlings. And I got a hatchling from I don't remember the name of the pet store. It was in Melbourne.
Got you.
But and I remember it was funny because I was actually bummed. I got like an alligator snapper, and I kind of wanted a baby Florida snapper that was like really light in color that I saw at the pet store. And I like told my dad, I was like, oh, I want this for my birthday. But the alligator snapper ended up just growing and being this amazing turtle.
Crazy.
And that was one of the turtles where I figured out that it's easier to keep them outdoors. And it just did really well. And then around the time I was in my mid-20s, and I was doing a lot of skateboarding and stuff, I didn't have a lot of time for animals at home. And then also I'd started learning about animal laws. I parted with the alligator snapper with a guy that I think he lived in South Carolina or somewhere where it was legal. So unfortunately I don't have that turtle anymore, which would have been cool to still have. And then kind of fast forward through a lot, and then when I started getting into my, I think I was in my 30s when I started finding them in the wild and figuring out that they don't just range in the lower part of Georgia, they range all the way up almost to the Atlanta airport. So I started exploring all these creeks and finding them and figuring out how to find them by hand, like noticing that they essentially will make like a burrow, like a gopher tortoise. And if the water is clear, you see this big mound of sand and place where they go in and out of the bank. And then when I really started figuring them out was when I started figuring out go at night, go with flashlights, go after midnight. And then you can walk up on several of them just on the bottom doing their thing. And they move really quickly, and their heads twitch and stuff like a bird. And it's, like in the wild, doing their natural thing. They're amazing. And
so they're like more nocturnal?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
In Texas and Louisiana, they're a little bit more diurnal.
Okay.
Like they have a lot of observations out there that are really amazing, like basking and a lot of diurnal activity. They don't do that here. They're strictly nocturnal. You're not going to see them during the day. If you set a trap during the day, nothing's going to happen. It has to sit, overnight. Wow. So at any rate, I did that for a long time, learned a lot. Also started communicating with Georgia DNR and passing along records of any that I found, photographs, GPS locations. And then when I started doing the YouTube channel around 2019, I started, uploading videos, and people started noticing. And then my buddy Grover, who does a lot of work with turtles, he did work with this guy Dirk Stevenson, who's like kind of a legendary herper in the Southeast and in Georgia. And he went out and I think did some mud turtle surveys with him, but passed along my info. Dirk saw my YouTube channel and what I had done with alligator snappers, invited me out. Hey, I'm going to go survey Suwannee alligator snappers. Would you like to try that out? I'd always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I'd always seen the hoop nets, but didn't know how to like set them or check them or anything. And so we went, and then kind of combining his experience with setting traps and baiting them, and then mine with what to identify where they like to hang out, we like immediately did good.
Awesome,
just
dude.
Tons of turtles. And so he was like, hey, I've got this contract to survey them for U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Would you like to be a partner on the project? And I was like,
what a dream.
And he's
dude.
like, I can't pay you a lot, but I can pay you. And I was like, dude, I thought it was going to be free. So it turned out I was getting paid, and it's funny because his not a lot was actually like a good amount of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I feel like I like have a cheat code or something,
Damn, dude. So how long is a contract? How long are you going to be doing this?
So the first one, we completed a year, and then he just added 3 more years onto it.
Oh, dude, that's great.
Yeah, so the contract is, I still have like 2 more years on it, and then at the end of that, we can renew it, either with funding from U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Georgia DNR, or both. And then you can also apply for private funding if you want.
Wow, dude.
So and it's funny because on paper, I'm a biologist.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like, my degree's in television production. So I'm as far from that as you can get.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, you're literally living like Eric's dream, dude.
Yeah.
You want to survey turtles or work in TV?
I'd prefer surveying turtles. Yeah. But if you do it on TV, I think that would be more fun too.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's like actually, maybe not. No. I don't know. I always hear horror stories of TV.
Yeah.
Well, I got out of it. The only reason I went into it was my parents wanted me to go to college after high school, and all I wanted to do was skate. And so I thought it was a hack to go to school for television production so I could use Final Cut Pro at the school and borrow camera equipment and lights to go film skating with my buddies. but because I was already doing that, I kind of already knew a lot of the stuff, so I did really good at it. And then I was working on TV shows, music videos, different production stuff before I even graduated, and that was in like 2002. So
hell yeah!
And I did that all the way through 2010-ish. Took a break, came back to it for a little bit, and then now I've decided instead of doing like full TV production, I actually would rather do weddings.
Oh yeah, I saw you.
Yeah,
some weddings.
So they're like a little mini production.
Yeah.
You meet with the couple. You can make it custom tailored to whoever they are. A lot of times you get people that are really unique individuals. Sometimes they like Nightmare Before Christmas, and the whole wedding is themed like that. And likewise, sometimes you get maybe somebody that's hard to work with.
Yeah, of course.
And the thing is like, I got 8 hours to go.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's unique, and then
that is good for money too, buddy. I have a buddy that went into wedding photography and videography, and him and his wife kill it. That's what they do full time.
Yeah. I'm doing an
area.
engagement shoot tomorrow, and then next weekend I'm doing a wedding. Or no, 2 weekends I'm doing a wedding.
Nice, man.
And it's really good work, and I always tell people it's always a party.
Yeah.
By the time you make it to the reception, everybody relaxes, and it's just a good time.
Yeah.
So.
How far south do you go down for these surveys for the alligator snapping turtles?
So with my paid job, it's just southern Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there's one of our sites is 4 miles from Florida.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And then. Most of our other sites are like maybe an hour from the line.
And you guys just follow the river wherever it goes, I guess?
But these coastal plain rivers kind of do this,
Gotcha.
Like they kind of don't really go in a straight line, and there's a lot of river bends, and ours is particularly narrow. There's parts of it that are maybe from like those black things there to your sign, and it gets pinched, flows really fast, then widens out.
Okay.
So it's a varied habitat, but the neat thing is these alligator snappers are just everywhere. They're like probably the most abundant turtle in the river.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't poach them. That's illegal. Don't do it.
Don't poach them.
Don't be that guy.
And they actually just got federally listed a week ago.
Interesting.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. Well, if you're ever down in that area and need some extra hands, I'll fucking the both of us will love to do something like that.
We do have
dude.
like volunteers that come and help. Because I'm 43 and I'm the youngest on the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, my boss is in his 60s. Chris from Fish and Wildlife is I think 52, and then our other guy that helps out all the time is 70.
Whoa, dude, that's crazy.
Damn. Yeah. So I'm like the quote unquote young guy. Let Greg do it.
Damn, what does it feel like holding such a huge and powerful animal, dude? That thing trips me out. Whenever I watch videos of somebody bringing out a huge alligator snapping turtle, I'm like, I can't even fathom what that
do they weigh, like
feels
80 pounds usually? Like 60 to 80 or something
average
like that?
male size, most people, they always want to quote 200 pounds, and that's not realistic.
Okay.
Realistically, I think one has been caught that was legitimately weighed, measured using modern, instruments. They weighed 211 pounds over in Texas.
Yeah.
But when you hear about 200 pounds, that's when they get in captivity. People overfeed them.
Got you.
Yeah. So your average males coming out of, a river or a bayou are going to be between 50 pounds and about 75, 80 pounds. That's kind of your average.
Yeah.
And then on higher end, you're going to get into 90 to 105, 110.
Yeah.
Then your big ones, you're going to start getting into like 120s, 140s. Anything over that is
awesome, dude.
Colossal.
Yeah.
So, but ultra rare.
Yeah. That's fucking sick, dude.
But man, when you get anything over 80 pounds and you're lifting it, and especially you watch that video of that 94-pounder, when you pick it up, he's kicking his legs, he's thrashing his tail, he's snapping. Yeah. It's hard to hold because he's hurling weight in all these different directions. And I remember, like, it's funny in the video, I don't think you can see it, but I remember when he snaps, the camera didn't really catch it, but have you ever heard an alligator pop? Yeah. Like pop their jaws? It sounded like that.
Oh my god.
And I remember
crazy.
It shook his whole body while I was holding him, and he did it twice, I think, and I remember thinking, like, don't drop it.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, man. Well, other than your surveys, you just started, you've done a couple ponds at your house. You just did a new one.
Yes.
How's that going, man?
So that one is a rebuild of one that I had from 2019 to 2021, maybe. Okay. And the snappers at one point got down and tore the liner because I built the pond like a dumbass.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know when I built it. I thought, oh, it'd be cool to have like a grade going down like you find in the wild. But you can't build a liner pond with a grade because stuff eventually slides down it.
Got you.
And so when they settled in for a winter, they started digging down and then everything slid down. They got to the liner, tore it.
Got you.
So the idea was I wanted to rebuild it because Aquascape built me a stream. And I'm sure you've seen that on my videos. Uh-huh. It's like a 60-foot stream. That was supposed to be what they lived in, but the truck that had all the rocks shorted me like over a ton of boulders.
Damn.
So that was supposed to have a huge pond at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then they shorted me all these boulders. And then, you know, the way Aquascape does those builds, you can't, I mean, you have to use what you have.
Yeah.
So instead, we had all this extra liner, so I just had them build the boulders so that they have caves underneath them. Mm-hmm. So, like, you see, like, it go to a stream, but actually it goes underground. But at any rate, that still wasn't big enough for my adults. And so me and my buddy Dan, the Turtle Man.
Yeah, I saw it there, yeah.
We came up with a plan. We were going to rebuild it, and then Aquascape saw that. They sent me a free, like, amazingly free, like an entire pallet of a large pond kit. So it had, like, a liner. They sent me, like, double or triple the amount of underlayment. So you basically build a sandwich with your liner. So you go underlayment to protect it from roots and rocks, rubber liner, and then over that you do the underlayment again, and then put all your rocks on that. So they sent me all that stuff. A lot of, like, kind of life happened because I think they sent that in 2022. Me and Dan were going to do it. Then I had a bunch of trapping. Then we built a pond for our buddy Charlie Moorcroft.
Okay.
And then came back from that. And then we were going to do it in the fall. Then my mom died. And then so from that to the following spring, we were supposed to do it again. Then Dan blew up, started traveling. So then we weren't able to line it up again. So I basically had this thing sitting around for almost a year.
Damn.
And then just this past year, I was like looking at it and I got super pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to do this. You know, I had my father-in-law who, like, he was a monk for like many years in Thailand.
That's crazy.
And monks, like, all they do is build stuff.
Yeah.
So he got to the house. I told him, I was like, I always wanted like a slanted tin roof on my back deck, like they have in Thailand. He built it in like a few days. And so then it was like, what's next? And so we kind of, through being translated, explained what I needed to do. And I mean, in the first 2 days, we had everything excavated, redug. And then it was like, once you get it excavated and you put in the underlayment, you start to see the shape of it. Yeah, that's when it gets exciting. So did that. Drove around finding rocks because I didn't have like any money to buy like a pallet of rocks. So part of the fun was driving and going and finding rocks.
Yeah.
And,
especially in Georgia.
Just reptile people things.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice rock.
It's funny too because like I have a cross trek and so we were just filling it with rocks. So it was like going down the road. Like,
oh my god.
Like that. One of the cool things though was one of the turtles in it is my alligator snapper Bullet Tooth Tony.
Okay.
And he's named because I found him where somebody had shot him in the head.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, somebody caught him fishing, put a slug in his head, and
Still
just
kicking.
left him there to die. So I went back to the stream where I found him because they built a bunch of stuff around it, so they pushed a lot of the creek back into the woods.
Yeah.
So there's these huge piles of rocks back there. So I went there. So it's kind of neat that, you know, he's in my care, but he has like the rocks from like where he's from.
Oh, that's
like, in
sick,
the habitat.
dude. That's his home, dude.
Yeah, I thought that would be kind of like good karma for him.
Yeah.
So we got me and Dan and Christian Cave. Have you seen him, Caveman Wildlife?
Yeah.
So he came over. He lives like a mile from me.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so he came over every day and I mean moved rocks, did everything, and the three of us like knocked it out.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
When are we doing that?
What, building a pond?
Yeah.
Well, Tyler just got a house. We could do it at his house.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys have
Tyler,
sand,
building a
so
pond.
it goes quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. Because you here it's clay.
It's clay and quartz and granite.
The first pond I built was when I was living in Miami, and it's limestone. Yeah, and I had to go 4 feet deep. That sucked.
Yeah.
You know my size. I am, like I said earlier, 6'5", an Avenger.
Gotcha.
So it was a great time. Well, you know what we have to do, man? I know that it's a long travel. It's 6 hours. But I would really like to take you and Dan to where we record the podcast outside and do a podcast there.
That would be
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah. The ultimate hang.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
That would probably be the only thing that would actually stop me from looking for turtles, because I'm a huge pussy. And if I can't see the water 5 feet in front of me.
We do that, and then we go out at night, night shine, and find a bunch of turtles.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
I guess.
And Dan's
frogs
in Florida
are out there,
now, right?
Yeah, he is. I think.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I know he was looking at houses somewhere near like Tampa or something like that.
Okay.
But, I also know that possibly South Carolina may be an option for him. He's
Got you.
I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but
Yeah. Every time that I talk to him, which is usually around Daytona Animal Con time, he'll tell me, yeah, South Carolina. Oh, yeah, it's Florida. I'm like, where are you going, dude?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's tough, man, because like it's like Florida has like the weather, the animals, like it also has like a good network of people that kind of do this.
Yeah.
South Carolina has more lax laws.
Yes.
You can get more land per dollar. You know, I mean, it just kind of ultimately kind of comes down to like what your ability is to find a place.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So, anything cool coming up in the future? Anything that you're excited about?
I mean, for the most part, I'm simple, man.
Yeah.
I have a television show though that is.
That's right. You had told me that you were going to have some kind of filming going on.
Yeah. So, I just got, I think, the non-disclosure stuff in the email. So I can't say the name of the TV show, but it's a big one, and it's going to be focused on alligator snapping turtles. Okay. They're going to kind of follow me in what I do, and
that's amazing.
They're going to come visit my place. So that'll be, I believe, on NBC. Nice. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have television, so I don't even know if I'll get to see it. I just watch Netflix and Amazon. So
let's go, dude.
And then another group is going to do. I have two other productions. Somebody from the UK is coming, and they're filming a documentary. It's actually a documentary, I think, on bullfrogs.
Really?
But alligator snapping turtles are featured in it.
Okay.
So they're going to use some of my animals for that. And then another group is doing a documentary specifically on alligator snappers that may even go to like Netflix as like a multi-episode thing.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Well, you'll be able to see that one.
Yeah, I'll be able to see that one. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and that's, I think, starts filming in the fall.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, I've kind of, like I said, I've Forrest Gumped my way into kind of a lot of different things that I didn't necessarily see myself doing.
Well, congrats, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's not much else to really.
Animal Con's coming up.
I want to go to Animal Con. They sent me all the stuff, and then so this is interesting. So back in March, I'm walking with my in-laws, and I'm supposed to pick up an alligator from my buddy because I'm doing a kid's birthday, and I have alligators on my permit, but I don't have my own. So I go to pick up this alligator. He shows up late, so I'm like, ask my in-laws, hey, you want to just go walk behind? There's like a grocery store and a nature trail full of cottonmouths and turtles and snakes. So we go walk back there. Here comes this cat walking up to me, and I'm like, hey, buddy, and I'm like petting him and pat him on the back, and then he like kind of walks along next to us. Next thing I know, this little asshole grabs my leg. And I kick him off into the bushes.
Yeah.
And then he keeps coming back. My father-in-law comes out of nowhere with a big-ass branch, breaks it over the cat.
Damn.
The cat doesn't even blink, keeps coming, keeps breaking the branch. The branch gets smaller every time he breaks it over this cat. The cat's coming like the damn Terminator. And I'm bleeding, and so we just essentially retreat.
Yeah.
We go back. I go in the pharmacy in the grocery store and tell them what happened. They clean my leg up. I come back out. While I'm like finishing cleaning my leg, I hear it attack somebody else on the trail. I hear a bunch of screaming. Then my friend shows up. Then the cops show up because animal control wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
So I have my friend who's an ex-cop. I have an actual cop. And then my father-in-law who's an ex-cop. And they're all like, you need to kill that cat. And so I'm like, okay. So we go back down, and we've got like a box. Like my buddy had like one of his snake boxes. He does like wildlife shows. And we go down there, and then as soon as we get down there, here comes the cat straight at me. I take off my flannel shirt, throw it over it, whack it with the snake stick. We get it in the box. And before I put it in the box, I remember I grabbed it and I looked at its face. I was like, is this thing foaming at the mouth or drooling or anything? The only thing I noticed is it didn't have any teeth. And put it in the box. And then we took it to animal control, did their job for them. And then they're like, I'm like, hey, this thing needs to be tested for rabies. They're like, oh, we have to hold it for 10 days and see if the owner is going to come. And I'm like, but it bit
like 30 people, dude.
Dude, it bit me. It bit somebody else. They're like, yeah, but we need to give the owner a chance. And I was like,
what owner?
I was like, dude, it has no collar. It has huge balls. I was like, it's not somebody's pet. And they were like, well, we need to do the 10 days. And I was like, I'm bleeding in your office.
Yeah.
And so it was like the sheriff's office in that show. Oh God, what's the one with the alien? Have you ever seen that show, Resident Alien?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dude, it was just like that. It's like everybody in there was a moron.
Oh God.
And so that was on a Friday, and then on Monday they tell me that they sent the cat to the vet, but it had to be put down. I'm like, well, did it seem like it had rabies? No. Tuesday, I'm going through Starbucks, and they call me and they're like, hey, that cat tested positive for rabies. I freak out. I have to go to the emergency room, get 16 shots, and then they keep giving me more shots over. It's like, I think you get the first one, then it's 3 days later, then 7 days later, something like that. I mean, by the time it was all said and done, I had almost 20 shots.
Yeah.
And then like a $25,000 bill. So,
damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
So I've been
the
dealing.
cat should pay it. Right?
I mean,
I wish.
You didn't have insurance, so you're fucked.
So, and it's funny because I jumped on a Facebook group for this town, and then people were on there like, yeah, it attacked us. So I saw the people that it attacked. And then right before we went to get it, somebody was on a golf cart because this town has golf carts all over it. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, that cat attacked us on the golf cart. Then somebody in the comments was like, it attacked my dogs, and so I kicked it and knocked its teeth out. So I was like, oh yeah, I saw that.
You see the whole story of how this cat's like descent into madness.
Dude, it's so gnarly.
That's funny.
And then you're stuck with this bill. And like, I didn't have like insurance that would cover that. And then it turns out, unless you are like wildlife, like nuisance control, or you're a vet, most insurance isn't going to cover that anyway, because it's expensive medicine and it's not commonly given. Yeah. So it became a big problem, and then my wife had a C-section, was unable to work for months, and then this year I had less weddings than normal. It took a while to get trapping started, so I basically started this year off with this like mountain of debt.
Yeah.
And so like Animal Con is like kind of one of those things. It's like I have to kind of pick stuff that I let slide, and I just can't do the hotel. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Yeah.
Got
it's like,
you.
And then the other thing is my in-laws are gone, so I can't go without like my family, because if my wife is going to work, I have to watch the kid, and then if I do something, she has to watch the kid. So So basically, if I go to Animal Con, she can't work, and it's like a whole thing. So it's like I really want to go, and I'm hoping maybe something will come through later, but I still get on social media and tell everybody I'm going. Just because they sent me that like packet, you know what I'm talking about? I saw you post it. So
everybody started posting it, and I didn't get it, and I was like, do they not want me to go anymore, dude? And then I was like, oh, maybe it's because like I'm all the way in the bottom because my name starts with a Y, right? Yoshii.
Oh, wow.
But apparently they just sent it to the wrong email. But I got it now. I'm official.
There you go.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Yeah. So hopefully I can finagle a way to make it down there. But there's just like a lot of stuff this year, like with that happening, that I kind of had to like pick and choose what kind of stuff I was going to do. I haven't taken as many trips as I normally do. And then, also life with a baby is...
Of course, dude.
It changes things.
Yeah.
But she's rad, so...
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
She loves turtles.
Yeah.
She loves animals. Dude. She loves being outside.
Awesome. Yeah, dude.
When she gets upset, I walk outside with her. She looks at the turtles, and she's like...
Nature.
Yeah. So that works out good.
Other than the snapping turtles, what else do you have?
I have a lot of turtles. So probably 200 something. So I've got...
Jesus, for real?
Yeah. So I have one pond that's just kind of all the turtles that people ask me to take in that were like their pets.
Like sliders and stuff?
Yeah, so I have some sliders. I have some albino sliders. Cool. I have a lot of river cooters because I like river cooters, but they also lay a lot of eggs. And they're also a common species and they're big, so most people aren't interested in taking them as a pet. So I just keep raising them up. So I have a ton of those. A lot of loggerhead musk turtles, striped neck musk turtles, common musks, razorback, striped mud turtles, eastern mud turtles, Mexican mud turtles, and then I've got alligator snapping turtles, common snappers, hybrid snappers, Florida soft shells, yellow-footed tortoise, cherry head tortoise, mountain tortoise.
Nice.
A big sulcata tortoise that has free roam of the entire backyard, Gulf Coast box turtles, Florida box turtles, three-toed box turtles, eastern box turtles. One of my eastern box turtles was in Guardians of the Galaxy, the last one.
Yeah.
They brought him out and they like zap him with the thing.
Yeah, I was so
So
sad.
that was mine.
How was the shoot for that?
So for that one, that was like during COVID.
Yeah.
And they hit me up like ultra last minute. And that actually came to me through Georgia DNR, oddly enough. Yeah. They called me up and they were like, hey, we got a buddy that's on this shoot. They need an eastern box turtle. And then so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll drive it down there. And they're like, well, because of COVID regulation.
Oh, God.
So I essentially had to hand it off to somebody.
Some rando.
And I wasn't like really stoked on that. And that guy was kind of a dick. And so I wouldn't do that again.
Got you.
But, you know, it went well, and the turtle was in there, and they actually used... I had a bunch of hatchling sliders that I gave them, and I don't even think those made it in the movie. I know they had those hatchling sliders for like 14 hours.
Okay.
And I was really irritated about that as well. But, again, that comes back to what we were talking about, like, entertainment. Like, you know, there's good and there's bad, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with animals, because, you know, it's one thing, it's like if I'm sitting there for 14 hours waiting for a 5-minute scene, but if it's, you know, an animal, you know, that's something different.
Yeah.
Because they're basically used as like a tool on the production, I would assume.
Yeah.
They're not really, especially if the animal guy isn't even there to be there with the animal.
Right. Yeah. And that was a lesson learned the hard way. Never let yourself be separated from your animals. So if you guys ever get that call, you go with your animal or not at all.
Yeah. So. That rhymed, dude. That fucking rhymed. Hey, if you ever need to like offshoot any of those Razorbacks, let me know, dude.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Razorbacks. I used to breed them, and then I had a buddy of mine that he's you know, a friend of mine from like breeding ball pythons.
Yeah.
And he's helped me out a lot, and I'm close with him. You know, he has some daughters, and they started getting into turtles. So when I was like moving around and stuff like that, I was like, I'm gonna leave you these turtles so that way they could like breed them and they could raise them and they could enjoy them. Turtles got robbed.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Super robbed. Sucks. So I miss my Razorbacks, dude.
My Razorbacks are females. I cannot find a male.
Dude.
Like an adult male. I cannot find an adult male because I would love to have little hatchling Razorbacks.
Yeah.
I have more loggerhead musk turtles. They're like rabbits. They lay multiple times a year. And I mean, they once that's turned on with them, it's just they're gonna produce eggs all the time. Anytime it rains, I can walk into like one of my pond enclosures and almost any time find a small loggerhead musk turtle in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah, I just like small species of turtles. I want my focus to be like mud and musks. I have like Reeves turtles, but I only have them because they're like specifically the Japanese ones. They're like all black. They were like a TSA confiscation from years ago.
Okay.
There's like history on these things, so I'm like, this is cool. You know? But I don't want to do like any more sliders, any more pink bellies.
I feel like your Kynosternids, your mud and musks, are like the best pet aquatic turtles.
100%, dude.
They have tons of personality, easy to house, easy to care for, easy to breed. I just don't see any downside to them as a pet turtle. I mean, they just do fantastic. And, you know, if you really want to go all in on breeding them, I mean, they're fantastic.
Yeah. And striped mud turtles specifically, like, there's so much variation in them. I like the blondes, and I've had different variation of blondes. But then, like, there's this one place that we went to where they just have, like the water was, like, very rich in, like, tannins, and
they're almost like burgundy.
Yeah. It was crazy,
they have
dude.
that staining.
Yeah.
So we have striped mud turtles up here, but they're the stripeless version. So the stripes are very reduced. Like, if you had one with a clean shell, you'd see the middle stripe, and then the ones on the lateral sides kind of vary. But then their heads, in addition to the stripes, they have like just all these like speckles and gold,
kind of like a reticulated pattern,
ultra
almost
colorful. And then they get really big, like box turtle size.
Whoa,
that's awesome.
And
dude.
then Jack works with them up in Delaware, and they're even bigger.
Wow.
Dude, that's crazy.
I want to see those.
I've had some that a buddy of mine found that we were calling them leopards, that their shells were just completely spotted, stuff like that. It was like a variation on the blondes. Do you have any small, like either a mud or a musk turtle here in Georgia that has any red on it? There was the place that I'm going to take you today where I find the common musks. I saw, I mean, this was years ago. I don't know if I was on drugs. I don't think I was on drugs. No, I wasn't.
Let's preface it with that.
No, I was on tour, and we stopped. We checked out some turtles, and then in the water, I saw something. They gallop on the floor and stuff like that. And I saw it galloping, but it had like a red head, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" But it got away. I wasn't gonna go in the water. I didn't want to get wet, and I don't know if it was like not painted, but or if it was just like. It got into something and it was like red or orange, or maybe the way that I was
like bright
seeing.
red, like a red cheek.
Maybe, dude. And it was in this area.
Well, in this area, it's interesting. You have a lot of Asian grocery stores.
Okay.
And they like to take non-native turtles and put them into ponds here and essentially farm them.
Oh.
So you get like Chinese soft shells here. You get,
that's crazy.
You get some of the side necks here. This area has a lot of non-native stuff. There's snakeheads here.
Whoa.
What? That's crazy.
So yeah, when you're telling me about that, and I'm like, well, is it in this area? And then you say that. So it really could be anything. But there's also, and I don't know if it's a bacteria or fungus, but I have seen it on mud and musk turtles, especially if it's from like a pond. But it'll be almost like a blob of like a reddish growth on the
that
on
might
the skin,
make sense,
on the skin.
dude.
I've seen that.
That might make sense because it was a small pond in a neighborhood.
Okay, yeah. So if it's a pond, like especially soft, muddy bottom, I've seen it on stink pots and stuff. It'll either be on the crease of the neck or the flat part of the top of the head.
Damn.
And it's like either a fungus or some kind of bacteria, but it's like a red color.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That's crazy, dude.
I saw a 3-stripe with a sick nasty.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, not for the turtle, just for like
morbidly awesome.
I've been like obsessing about this for years.
That was your thylacine.
That was in like 2015 that I saw this thing.
Okay, mine was either leucistic or albino common snapper when I was camping with my dad one time. Yeah, me and my brother would go with a light and put it next to a lake and then just throw like chicken and fish and stuff, and then the turtles would slowly come in and be stink pots and then snappers. And I remember this white snapper came in, and I was like, and then he as soon as I went to grab him, he bolted.
Fuck, dude. He's he knew. He's like, I'm worth something.
Dude,
I gotta go.
That one was my white whale, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
you got any cool?
Shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't seen.
I haven't seen shit.
Yeah.
I saw thylacine.
No, you did not. Get the fuck out of here.
Day one.
There you go. Hell yeah, man.
With Forrest Galante.
Hey, I'll go with them.
Yeah.
They're over there in that island. I swear to God. I hope. I feel like I talk too much about it, and then
you only
happens.
talk about the thylacine.
Hey, that could be like your next thing. You team up with Forrest Galante and get the thylacine, and you can follow with him, and he can be like, "There's one. We better take off our shirts." Oil up our beards.
Oh God.
That's funny. Well, shit, dude. We got to see when we can have you down there.
Okay.
Or maybe we meet somewhere halfway. We find somewhere cool to film. We'll invite Dan, and we'll have a whole-ass turtle episode.
Yeah. I like watching your podcast.
Turtle Avengers.
It's like a hang,
Yeah.
I prefer that than the Zoom style, because sometimes the Zoom style I feel a little disconnected, or I feel like I'm constantly doing a bio.
Yeah. It's like in the realm of reptile podcasting, there are people that stream live, and in a sense it's a podcast, but you're a streamer. You're not really a podcaster. I feel I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they're like majority like this. It's like a hang. You're doing the thing. There is a disconnect with the Zoom. There's always like a lag. You know, you might talk over each other and stuff like that. And I like this style of thing, dude. You know?
It's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's way more comfortable. It's everybody can kind of feel everybody else's vibe, and so like I said, you're comfortable. It's like a hang. It's easier to, I think, sometimes talk about the information, but it's also, I mean, you know, you look at your setup. It's also more complicated, more expensive. But like I said, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to yours, and it's way more relaxing. And,
thanks, man.
And you guys crack me up.
Yeah,
like, I like
I'm glad,
it.
dude.
Yeah,
that's the whole goal, dude. And it's hopefully about to get more expensive. I want to get a couple cameras. I want to get a switcher.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do the whole thing.
That would be sick.
Yeah, dude.
Production quality.
We need funding. Sponsor us. More sponsors. Let's go. Well, shit, bro. Thank you so much, man. It was great talking to you, man. Thank you for coming out.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Hell yeah. This was the Reptiles With Podcast.